Next, we're going to talk about another one that was requested by you all. This one's called Chump Change. Now, I'm assuming that the interest in this song was maybe the intro groove to kind of have an understanding of what's going on there, because a lot of the rest of the song is pretty straightforward for what's happening. Like you hear what the guitar and bass parts are, you hear what the drum parts are, we're all together, or it's like here we are blasting or being heavy. So it's kind of self-explanatory. But I do get questions often about what's happening in the beginning of the song. So I'll kind of briefly explain and demonstrate what's going on there. We have a 6-beat pattern that the guitar is playing, this like kind of like Bo Diddley, Bayonne kind of groovy kind of rhythm. Ba 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 ba. So to play with it, we came up with what's called a hemiola, which is basically a circling, revolving rhythm that oftentimes plays around an established phrase. So, for example, Zach has this 6/4 guitar phrase that he's playing, this ba da 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 da, and I got a hemiola that's happening around it, which is kind of a fucked up homage to Meshuggah's Bleed, because it's exactly the same kick pattern as Bleed. It's just put on the kit and played against the guitar instead of with the guitar. And to make it even more fucked up, what's happening there is that when Steve comes in with the bass, he's playing what's called a walking bass line. For those of you who don't know jazz lingo, essentially a walking bass line is what you hear every bass player do in a jazz song. They're going boom, 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 ba doom, doom, like that shit. It's called walking bass. So he decided he's going to walk bass in 5 against what we're playing. So he's basically playing in 5/2. I'm playing in 3/4, and Zach is the only one playing in time. So let me get a metronome going here for you all, so you can kind of better hear what's going on with at least the drum part, because there's no way in hell we're going to show you the bass part right now. That's too fast. It's close enough. And let's just make that a single click for now. So again, ba 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 da 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 da. So on and so forth. I mean, I'm just doing a little bit of like the build that you hear that comes out of the drum intro, where I'm basically just adding notes, filling in the space, and trying to just make it as compressed and uncomfortable as possible. But that's the basic rhythm that's happening in the entire beginning of that song up until like the Morbid Angel part. But again, it's a hemiola, so it's 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 blah, so on and so forth. That just keeps going against the rhythm. So the pulse is not coming from the drums. The drums are this antagonistic phrase against the riff, which gives it that sort of tumultuous, claustrophobic feeling.